And what I'm going to show you today is a Oaxaca Old Fashioned with a twist. I like to use tamarind pulp and Chile Ancho shavings to infuse the cocktail. Some of the things that you're going to need to create the recipe are these tools. You're going to need a pair of shears to cut the Chile Ancho into strips. We need a lemon press or a lemon squeezer, a knife to cut your lemons, a bar spoon, a jigger, and if you don't have that in hand, a little measuring cup if you have that. I have a pair of shaking tins to keep the cocktail cold as you shake it in here. But if you don't have that, what I like to use is one of these. Pretty sure you have these laying around in the shelf, or if not, somewhere. Works basically the same way. All you have to do is double strain the cocktail if you don't want any of the sediment in it. I like to have it in there just because it gives it a little bit more depth in the flavor. When you finish a cocktail, you can chew on the tamarind pulp as like something then as a treat. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get this cocktail started. We're gonna use your tequila of choice. I'm using Mi Campo. I really highly recommend this. Make sure it's reposado. We're gonna go ahead and use our favorite mezcal. Make sure it's a high-end mezcal. I'm using Bosal. For sweeteners, I have two different things. I have organic amber blue agave and the tamarind pulp that we picked up. I placed it in here just for the time being because it gets a little messy when you bring it out the packaging. And remember to use your limes for your cocktail. So we're gonna go ahead and place the limes into our press, and we're gonna measure out 2 ounces of the lime juice. And usually I've noticed that 2 full limes actually equate to 2 ounces. I'll press these in. Wow, like literally 2 ounces. I'm gonna put that in your tin or the flask that you use. We're gonna measure out the tequila, and that is 2 ounces. Apparently I needed more than 2 ounces. Give it a shot more, I guess. And your mezcal, and that's 1 ounce of mezcal. You don't want too much of this just because it's gonna get a little too smoky and it doesn't balance out the drink. So I have 1 ounce here. I'm gonna get your agave and put it in your bar spoon. That's 3 bar spoons. That's 3/4 of an ounce. We're gonna get all the shavings that we grabbed from the Chile Ancho. And if you haven't done so already, grab your scissors and just cut a bit. 2 shavings should be fine. You can use the seeds and the skin, and then your tamarind. And when you go ahead and shake the cocktail, make sure it's a dry shake. You don't want to have any ice in there because it's going to make the tamarind and the agave harden, and it's going to make you shake it for a long, long time. This is my drink, so I'm going to go ahead and do this. I really enjoy the taste of tamarind. And then what you're going to do is grab your tins. Make sure it's seared really well because if not, it's gonna pop. All right, so that should be about 30 seconds. And what I'm gonna go ahead and talk about really quickly is how to strain your cocktail if you don't have any type of bar tools to strain your cocktails, sediment, if you don't want that floating around in your drink. You can use a hawthorn strainer or a julep strainer. Just keep in mind, if you use this, a little bit of the seeds are gonna come out and be in your cocktail. But if you want no sediment at all, you would use a tea strainer. So that's if you want your cocktail neat. So what we're gonna go ahead and do now is I'm gonna show you a quick technique that you can apply to any cocktail. It doesn't have to be this one, just to give it a little bit more edge. Press your friends. Is you can smoke some of your garnish. And you can use this, and I'm using Palo Santo, and you can go ahead and burn this into the cocktail. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that really quickly. So you're gonna grab your glass and put it upside down and give it a couple of seconds. And as that's infusing in the rocks glass, if you can get your hands into really nice ice or make it at home, it's really, really different. It gives you a different profile. There's no impurities that come from the water that get stuck in the ice cube. My glass has been infused with the smoke, putting my rock in the glass. And I like my cocktail dirty with all the stuff in it. I'm gonna go ahead and just pour it in there. And what I like to do is ahead of time, I did my garnish. I have a lime twirl with some tamarind seed and some of the shavings and a little bit of the seed that came from the Chile Ancho. Put it right on top. Grab a little bit more of the seeds and just toss it in the cocktail. Oh, it's really good. But if the cocktail is a little bit too strong, you can go ahead and add a little bit more agave, just to give it a little bit more sweetness in it. Some people might want it a little bit more sweeter than others. This is just right for me. I really enjoy this. But if you want to go ahead and make it a little bit sweeter, you can add a little bit more. Enjoy, guys.